Hello and welcome back to another video. Today is a video I have been wanting to do for about a year now. I've tried to do it a few times, but I've ended up kind of getting bored throughout it and not really knowing what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. And a lot of the records, to be honest, I hadn't really listened to. There is like two records I haven't listened to because they've been like more recommendations rather than something given to me that they people know I like. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, so apologies for that. But yeah, this is my record collection. I actually recently built this shelf recently, which was quite fun. But yeah, I'm actually I got all the Funko Pops out. Got some around there, if you can see. Some down here. And yeah, these are just all my records. Now, I've been buying records for a little bit over a year now, right? So I've filled up one square, but very little is on the other. But a lot of these, I do want to give credit to a distant cousin of mine, Stephen. Sadly passed away a bit over a year ago, and his family, I mean, he used to collect like a fucking shit ton of vinyls, right? And he had a great music taste. And his family just said, look, come over and you can take some, because they knew I wanted to start, collecting some records. And a lot of the older ones are Stephen's, so I just want to make that clear because, I didn't buy every single one of these, although I bought a lot. Now, I'm not going to go over my CDs because a lot of them kind of came from my emo era, but I mean, some of them are still good, but I mean, the only one I really want to give a bit of a shout out to, I guess, is the Channel Orange CD. Found it in the record shop, so it was pretty cool. But that's the only CD I really want to talk about. But now I'm going to go from this side to this side, and I'm going to talk about how much I like the album and what it means to me. Starting off with this Who album. I'm not a huge fan of the Who. There is one album I do pretty like. This isn't exactly one I love, but it's got some solid songs on it. Not really going to talk about it much because I'm not going to look like an idiot and pretend to know what I'm talking about. I'm not a huge fan of the Who, but that's the only album I got on vinyl, and now it's from Stephen as well. This is now what I want to talk about, Weezer's Blue album. This is one of the few 10 out of 10s or personal 10 out of 10s I have. I started listening to this during the summer. I listened to this during the last month of my secondary school year because I had a concert ticket which I got around 2019, I think, which was the Hella Mega Tour featuring Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. And I didn't know much about Weezer, so when it was coming up in 2022, I thought, well, fuck it, let me listen to some of that stuff. And this is the first album I listened to because obviously I know this is a kind of cult classic with a lot of fans, and for good reason, because I fucking love this album to death. This was like one of the albums I listened to throughout the whole summer of last year. This album means like a whole lot to me. It's just perfect by every means. I mean, come on, like, you literally have all these fucking classics, man. I mean, come on, Buddy Holly is just amazing. No One Else, that's great vocals. My Name is Jonas, that's an incredible opener. Surf Wax America, that's incredible. Undone, probably my favourite song on this, is just phenomenal. Holidays got a great hook as well. I mean, this has got some of my favourite choruses of all time, for sure. Next, though, is an album I actually got, I think I got it Thursday this week. And it's an album I've been looking for ages. I don't personally like buying albums online because I know you can find it online, but I just prefer to get it in like record shops and shit like that. And that is another Weezer album, Pinkerton. I don't like it as much as the Blue album, although I know there's a pretty big debate between which one's better. I think the Blue album clears, in my opinion, but my favourite song from Weezer is on this, and that's El Scorcho. I fucking love that song. That was like my song of the summer. I listened to that shit on repeat. That and Across the Sea. That's a phenomenal song. I don't know exactly. I think just there's some songs on here where there's parts like I don't think any songs are bad. Let me get it clear. I don't think there's any songs that are bad. But there's some songs that are like, could be a bit better, right? But there's no songs on the Blue album, in my opinion, that are like that. But this is still an incredible album. Yeah, I need to listen to that song. Butterfly is one of my favorite endings to any album ever. That shit's beautiful. The you know how it's just all acoustic and shit. Very, very, very good album. All right, next is actually an instrumental album, and that is well, not. I mean, it's the instrumentals of the album, and that is the Cherry Bomb instrumental on vinyl. Now look, I like Cherry Bomb, and I can never really find it on in any record shops. But I found this and thought, fuck it. I don't see anyone having this shit. I don't see it anywhere, right? And I look on Discog, and this shit is worth quite a bit. I mean, not like like a shit ton. It's not worth like loads of money. But I just thought, yeah, it's pretty good. And plus, the instrumentals are still really good. But yeah, I just love the sleeves on this, and especially the vinyl itself. I mean, come on, look at this, man. Oh, it's so clean. It's so clean. It's got to be one of my favorite looking vinyls, but yeah, I mean, it's not like it, I don't usually listen to this like a fuck ton, but I mean, I just thought it was just something cool to have in my collection, I mean, I'd rather the actual album, but I thought this is probably as good as I'm gonna get. Oh shit, there we go. But, this is as good as I'm gonna get to get in the actual Cherry Bomb album. Hold on. So yeah, I saw, yeah, fuck it, let's get it. Next is another Tyler Creator album, Call Me If You Get Lost. This is probably my favourite Tyler Creator album. It took me a while to get around to this. I really kind of, not like disliked it, but I thought it was incredibly overrated when it came out. But after a lot more listens, I think this is a really, really good album. I think the features on this, I really like how Tyler branched out with his features, before it was kind of people we kind of know, you got guys like A$AP Rocky, Frank Ocean, sometimes like Earl Sweatshirt, you got Kali Uchis, because people in his kind of people you'd expect. But this has got fucking, what is it? It's like 42 Doug, Lil Uzi, fucking NBA Youngboy. That song is incredible. What's Your Name? That's it. But I mean Juggernaut with Lil Uzi. That song's incredible. But yeah, this is easily my favorite Tyler Creator album, and I'm not even like a huge Tyler fan, but I mean, I know this is I know a really good album when I've heard one, and that is a really good album. Apologies for me, I find it really awkward trying to put these albums back when I'm sitting down. But anyway, let's move on. Next, it's one of the first vinyls I ever got. Travis Scott's Astroworld. Now, the problem with this on vinyl, I don't know what HMV were doing. So I got this at HMV, right? And I love the album, don't get me wrong, but whenever I play it on this is not really a good record player, right? But majority of the time it plays the records fairly well. Apart from this album fucking sucks on my record player. There's so many cuts and jumps, and this is the thing, even when I was, when I first started collecting, I knew how to handle this shit. I wasn't fucking going like that. I wasn't carving shit into it. But it just sounds horrible in it. And I don't know whether it was because of it might have just been because of the way I handled it. But I don't think it was. But even when I listened to it straight away when I got it, and it just still sucked ass on vinyl. But I don't know whether I'm gonna get another one or not. Probably won't. Next, Tracy Chapman, self-titled. Really enjoyed this. I know my mum really likes that. She saw Tracy Chapman live, and I really, really like this album. I mean, come on, Fast Car is just it's a classic, right? But there's, I didn't really know much about her aside from Fast Car until I got this album, and I can't exactly remember what the song was called. There's one, but it's generally one of the most haunting songs I've ever heard. I think it was Behind the Wall, yeah, where it's like an a cappella song, and it's just about I think it's about domestic abuse or some shit. That shit was fucking harrowing to hear, man. It was just I was just sitting there in shock. I'm fucking vibing to Fast Car and shit, and then Behind the Wall comes on. I'm like, holy fuck, this shit is depressing. Next, I have the Swans album. I need to listen to this again. I've listened to it a couple times and really enjoyed it, but I've been meaning to get more into Swans discography because I know they just have like a huge kind of cult fan base. But I still really like this album. I'm pretty sure this is more of like a way more melodic than the stuff they usually do, because I know they do have some pretty like hardcore shit, if you know what I mean. But I still really enjoyed this album. Yeah, cool ass fucking inside, right? But yeah, I just, as much as I did like listen to it the first few times, I really need to go back into it. But it is solid though. But I think a lot of people say this isn't like one of their best albums, like a lot of people have. Like I think like To Be Kind and Soundtrack for the Blind. Those are albums I really want to listen to. I haven't got round to yet because they're like they're the type of albums. I think they're like over 2 hours long, right? And I feel like they require some. Hold on, let me just see my. They require like you to really sit down and listen to it properly. And I don't have the time to listen to a 2-hour album yet. But they are albums I really want to listen to. Don't get me wrong. Next, okay, where were we? This is just a 3-track vinyl specials. I mean, it has one of my favorite songs, Ghost Town. I mean, it's not much to talk about here. It's only a few tracks, but come on, it's a specials. I have to give it a quick mention. But yeah, if you've never listened to the specials, please listen to Message to You, Rudy, and Ghost Town. But I kind of been brought up on the specials a bit, so I have a soft spot in my heart, even though I'm not a huge fan of them. Next, Slipknot. I looked for this album everywhere because I didn't, at the time when I first started looking for this, I didn't realise it wasn't on vinyl until they, I think they released this on vinyl not that long ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they did have it on vinyl for a while. I found this in one of my local record shops, had to buy it. Cool. It's such a pain in the ass to get it out of the fucking sleeve, so I'm not going to take out that much. It's nice kind of lemon coloured vinyl, but it's such a pain in the ass to get out of the sleeve because it just sticks to it so much. I don't know why. There we go. This was like the first metal album I ever heard. One of my friends, one of my closest friends actually, used to be like a huge Slipknot fan back in like year 7. And he really got me into not just Slipknot, but just like metal in general. And although I still really like metal, but it's not exactly one of my favourite genres in the world, but Slipknot still kind of stuck with me. Like Eyeless and Spit It Out, People Equal Shit. Is that on? I don't think that's on there, but other Slipknot songs I still really enjoy. Next, sorry, this is a pain in the ass to try and manage. I'm not even going to talk about this album. I haven't listened to this. This is just a recommendation. But yeah, I can't pronounce it. Fucking Shushi and the Banshees. I haven't listened to this album, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to try and fucking fake it. But I've heard it's good, but I just haven't listened to it at all. So yeah. But this album, I will talk about quite a bit. The Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. This, oh my fucking god, this is one of my favourite soundtracks ever. I love the anime. I mean, I don't love the anime, but really enjoy the anime. It's not one of my favourite animes. But one of the things that I just love, and I think most people will agree with me, is the music. I mean, the moods they set throughout the whole thing is incredible. So as soon as I saw this, I just knew I had to fucking buy it. The sleeves are cool as fuck. And the vinyls themselves, I'm not going to take the other one out because it's going to take a bit too long. I have it in this nice colour as well, and the other one's in like a purple colour. But yeah, I mean, this is just a nice ass fucking jazz kind of record. And I can't recommend it enough. I mean, even if you don't like anime, even if you don't like anime, just listen to the soundtrack. That's what I'm begging you to listen to the soundtrack, regardless if you like anime or not. Fuck, it's making me look really awkward just trying to push this shit back in. Next, this was a gift from my sister. Shout out to her. Thank you very much. This is a Simon & Garfunkel record. Another, other artists I grew up listening to. I mean, yeah, I really need to like visit some albums in their discography because I only know their like, you know, the major hits, right? And I mean, look, those major hits are some, you know, some of the classics, you know, just in my music, like ever since I started listening to music, there's still been like huge classics for me. I mean, yeah, listen, Bridge Over Troubled Water, come on, man, that shit is beautiful. Mrs. Robinson, amazing. Sound of Silence, I Am a Rock, oh my god, I forgot about that song. Cecilia, that's incredible. I mean, yeah, Simon Garfunkel, absolute goats. I really need to listen to like an actual album of theirs though. So I don't know if that's that's a greatest hits album, yeah. Ooh, Run the Jewels 3. I'm gonna be honest, I listened to this once, like a few years ago, right? But I do remember really liking it. I know there's a song here with Danny Brown, that just fucking kicks ass. That shit was amazing. And I saw it in a record shop and I just remembered really enjoying it, so I bought it, listened to it again, still really love it, but I need to, this is like one, I don't know, I think this is the only Run the Jewels album I actually remember listening to. I just remember, I think, how did I listen to, I think I just came across it on YouTube and just thought, fuck it, I'll listen to it, but I actually haven't listened to any of the other Run the Jewels albums. But I mean, I got this, got it in like a gold kind of vinyl. I mean, it was said it was gold. It's kind of like a, I don't know. It's not exactly gold, but still, yeah. I'm not gonna talk about it much because I remember, yeah. I just remember liking it, bought it, still liked it, but I don't listen to Run the Jewels like religiously compared to a lot of other people. But I will be listening to their discography soon. Don't get me wrong. Get on my LP, still goats. Alright, next, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna put out these two. I am kind of disappointed with these. I really wanted to get into like the Rolling Stones, and these were in Steven's music vinyl collection. What the fuck's going on with me? I know a lot of people like the Rolling Stones. For me personally, I'm just not huge on them. I'm not gonna like try and disrespect them too much because I mean I know that, you know, the impact they've had on music and shit and how much of a big fan base they have, but for me personally, I just can't get into them. I really can't get into. I don't think they're terrible, but they're just not for me. But now what it is for me, OK Computer by Radiohead. Oh my god, this is one of my favourite albums of all time. It's kind of weird though, like despite me saying that it's one of my favourite albums of all time, because it is, but I still don't consider this like a 10 out, like a solid 10 out of 10. And I don't know why, I think there's just some songs like, I mean, this might get some people mad, I think Paranoid Android is a bit overrated. I'm not a huge fan of it, but every single other song it's like a strong 9 to a like 10 for me. I'll leave it at that. But I mean, Let Down is one of my favourite songs of all time, so is No Surprises. Karma Police, Airbag is one of the best opening tracks to any album of all time. And yeah, I can't praise this album enough. Radiohead is a band that I have been meaning to like really get into their discography. I did earlier this year. Earlier this year I did kind of. No. Last year was last year. Like later last year, I did try and listen to like all the discography like one by one, and I just never got around to it. I listened to what is their first? Pablo Honey, that's it. The Bends and OK Computer. Like, I had the OK Computer was my first Radiohead album, but I listened to it like ages ago. But they are a band that I've been meaning to like listen to every album. But the artist I'm doing that right now is I'm listening to the whole Drain Gang discography. I have an account on Instagram called Daniel's Discs. Please follow that, where I do most of my reviews on there now. And Blade, Echo 2K, and Typo Digital. I listen to all of their albums as of right now. But next it'll probably be Radiohead or like Death Grips, something shit like that, right? Alright, moving on to this side of my vinyl collection. This is gonna get some people mad. Purple Rain by Prince, right? Look, are there some songs on here that I like? Sure. But this is another album from Steven's collection and I'm not huge on it. I see a lot of people saying it's like a classic, you know, especially from, you know, one of the best albums of the 80s. And the first time I ever heard of Prince was because people were like debating whether him or like who was better out of him or Michael Jackson, right? So I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker must be really good then. And I listened to this and it's alright. I mean, come on, Michael Jackson fucking clears Prince. I hate it, but I'm just, if you like it, I understand the appeal for it. I do. Like, I mean, I like his vocals, the instrumentals are cool, but it's just not for me. And I know some people might hate that, but it's just my opinion. I'm not huge on it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Next, oh my god, Nurture by Porter Robinson. I listened to this throughout 2021. This is one of the most beautiful sounding albums I've ever heard. This is just heavenly, ethereal, transcendent, all those words combined to this album. If it wasn't for Donda, I probably would have this as album of the year by far. I mean, it's just such an incredible album, man. And I can't thank Porter Robinson enough. I mean, look at that, pretty cool. Got some, what's what I'm looking for? Like see-through discs, see-through vinyls. What's transparent? That's it. Which is pretty cool. I got this for Christmas, which was nice. Yeah, I got that. It's pretty cool. But this is one of the greatest albums in my opinion. I fucking love this shit. It's EDM done right, in my opinion. I think around, you know, especially during the 2010s. I'm not saying there wasn't any good like EDM, because of course there was. But I feel like most, what's what I'm looking for? Like, a lot of people see EDM in the 2010s as kind of like what dubstep is, you know, like Skrillex and Diplo and shit like that, right? And they fucking suck. But Paul Robinson, he comes in with just, I mean, look, if you listen to like Musician, like Look at the Sky, Something Comforting, and you don't cry on first listen, I don't know what to tell you. You clearly don't have emotions, because I was just in awe with how amazing, like the production is insanely good, man. I mean, even just like the intro, like Dully Side. I see a lot of people like say that's one of the worst songs on the album. Like a lot of people say it's good, but like, you know, the worst from the album. I think that shit's amazing. All the glitchiness and shit, and you get this nice, like, beautiful like piano melody near the end, right? It's just, I just fucking love that album. One of my favorite albums of the 2020s so far. I actually got this today. It's just got 3 songs in it. It's what's it? Hey, pardon me, Guess the Music, my favorite thing. Pardon me, sorry. I saw this today. It was for like a tenner. Outkast is another group, duo that I'm gonna get into. But obviously, Hey is a classic, right? But yeah, Outkast is a duo I really need to get into, and I'm going to. I just only listened to like a few songs here and there, but never really delved into the discography. But I saw this, thought, yeah, I'm gonna steal that. I mean, I didn't actually steal it, you know what I mean? But yeah, £10, thought it was a nice grab, and I got it. Yeah, but I will be listening to that later. Next, a hip-hop classic, Illmatic by Nas, known as one of the greatest, not even just one of the greatest rap albums of all time, one of the greatest albums of all time, just like in music history, and it's for good reason. The fact that this is a debut still amazes me to this day, and I don't even think he was like 20 when he made this. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, come on. It's just got classics after classics after classics. I mean, come on, New York State of Mind, one of the greatest rap songs of all time. Halftime, oh my god, that like trumpet bit, like that, like that shit. Oh my god, that shit is amazing. The World Is Yours. That shit, I can't get enough of this album as well. And I think, you know, it's a shame that, you know, a lot of people still kind of hold Nas to this like standard of, you know, well, he makes good music, but nothing will ever be good as Illmatic. But it's so hard to make an album better than this, you know. But yeah, nice. Another transparent vinyl. But yeah, it's a classic. I don't even think I need to really talk much about this. But if you, I'm just saying this right now. You are not a rap fan if you don't like this. I mean, come on. Another thing I want to say, if you want to get into rap, I would say listen to this as well. It's just incredibly influential as well. You know, not just one of the greatest rap albums of all time, but incredibly influential rap albums as well. Moving on, I didn't get this that long ago either. I got this not that long ago. That's what I meant to say. Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Now, look, if you're one of those guys that just think like oh, you listen to like emo music, you're so fucking weird, bro. This shit is amazing. Come on, man. You can't hate on this type of shit, man. I've been getting back into My Chemical Romance. I had a huge phase of just loving them in like year 7, right? And I was never like embarrassed to say I liked them. I just didn't listen to them that much after that. I found this in a record shop near me, and I was excited because I've always wanted to get, because I love the cover, like this or alternate cover. It's amazing. I do have it on disc as well. Yeah, nice shit there. But I mean, I have really been listening to the song Cancer recently. And that shit's got to be one of the most beautiful sounding songs I've ever fucking heard. The fact that it's so short though really pisses me off. But I still can't. I fucking love that song to death. But yeah, let me show you how big of a My Chemical Romance fan I was. See, I had their I think they have like one other album, but their 3 like major albums on disc, right? And I even had WRLD's solo album on disc as well. That's how much I liked these guys. But yeah, I'm getting back into them. And yeah, if you don't like emo music, that's cool, but come on, man, MCR, please, can't hear it. Madness, another band I kind of grew up listening to. One of the worst album covers I have. I mean, I get that this wasn't exactly the time of advanced technology, but my god, those like kind of weirdly edited in faces of the band members just always kind of make me laugh. But I mean, look, Madness, well, I don't know whether I'm going to get into discography that much, but I will listen to their hits, and come on, like Driving in My Car is such a kind of, I know it's kind of cringy words, but it's kind of like a wacky song, and it's so weird, but it's so good at the same time. But yeah, my dad likes them quite a bit. And yeah, that's I just have a soft spot for them because, like I said, I grew up listening to them. What do I have next? I listened to this like once and didn't really care for it. I mean, it has Sweet Home Alabama on it, kind of one of their biggest songs. Lynyrd Skynyrd, pretty cool cover, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't fuck with it that much. It was from Steven's record collection. But yeah, it wasn't huge on this. Same with this. I will be talking about the other albums I have. This Led Zeppelin record. I mean, pretty cool cover, but I think this was for a film. I'm not gonna try and bullshit. I'm saying I could care less about having this album. I'm not gonna lie, but I do want to talk about the other albums I have. For some reason, I have Led Zeppelin 2 twice. But I do have something else. Physical Graffiti is fucking amazing. Look, I don't condone I think it's is it Jimmy Page or some shit like that? Pedophile, right? I could be wrong, but I know there is a pedophile in this band. Not condoning it at all, but these albums are really good. I'm not a huge kind of I like rock, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like the hugest fan of this type of rock, if that makes sense. But yeah, I have also, is it Jimmy Page or Robert? I think it's Jimmy Page, that's the nonce, him or Robert, I can't remember, but I know one member. But yeah, Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, I mean, one of my favourite. I will have to say, even though I'm not a huge fan of Led Zeppelin, I still really love the song, was it Dazed and Confused? I really like that. Obviously, Stairway to Heaven is obviously a classic. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I have those albums on vinyl, because I do still think they are incredible rock albums. They're just not something that I listen to daily. I pop it on every now and then and enjoy listening to it. But if someone were to ask me, oh, what are your favourite rock groups? Led Zeppelin probably won't come up in that conversation because I'm just not huge on them. That's all I'm going to say. Same as this, I mean, look, there's some songs I like by the Kinks. They're kind of a band more for my dad. And my dad told me to get this, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Not huge. If you like him, you like him. But I'll talk about this. To Be a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Known as one, again, kind of like Illmatic, not just one of the greatest albums, like one of the greatest rap albums on top, but it's one of the greatest albums, period. And for good reason. I mean, what Kendrick did on this album is kind of unmatched by, I wouldn't say every rapper, but you know, it's very hard to replicate something like this. I mean, what is there that I can say about this album that hasn't already been said? I mean, I'll just say King Kunta, Alright, I mean, You is one of the most harrowing songs I've ever heard. And for some reason, I had this weird like phase a year or two ago where I just listened to that song a lot. It's very kind of concerning now that I think about that now, but I love that song to death. I mean, it is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard, just purely because of the like raw emotion Kendrick poured out on that song. I've always just kind of like, you know, crying and not like screaming, but just like, I don't know, like the frustration and sadness, that kind of combination in his vocals were just so powerful and moving that I've never really cried at the song, but I've always, every time I finish listening to that song, I just feel drained, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just like, holy fuck, that was an experience, you know what I mean? But yeah, kind of another album. I don't think you're a rap fan if you don't like this album. Look, I know it's just an opinion, but come on, it's just a classic, an absolute classic. Next, my third favourite album of last year, Mr. Around the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. I don't know what I was thinking when I first listened to this. I thought this shit was like kind of disappointing and kind of like I think upon first few listens, I thought it was like a 7 out of 10. I buffed this shit up to like a 9 after last few times I listened to this later last year. It is incredible. Is it as good as To Be a Butterfly? No. But I go as far as this is probably like a top 3 Kendrick album. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking say it. My top 3 Kendrick albums are probably Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Mr. Around the Big Steppers. And that's because, like, just like most Kendrick Lamar albums, it has such a range of emotions, man. And one of probably my favourite opening to a Kendrick Lamar album is United in Grief. I think that's an incredible song. But you got some of the most heartfelt Kendrick songs on this as well, like Mother I Sober and Auntie's Diaries. I think those are incredible. You got bangers like Silent Hill and N95. I don't know. Look, you might think I'm fucking stupid. On Silent Hill, Kodak Black is surprisingly just as good, maybe even better than Kendrick on that song. I'm gonna say it. That song was fucking amazing, right? That song was incredible. But yeah, N95 is also a banger, right? And yeah, I think this in like a few years may generally be looked upon the same way as people look at To Pimp a Butterfly. That's my statement. Next, another kind of compilation record, Kate Bush, The Whole Story. I'm not a huge Kate Bush fan, but she lived like, not like near me where I used to live, but lived in that same area, so that's the only reason why I really started listening to her, not because of Stranger Things. I want to get that clear, right? And look, Kate Bush, very influential, very, very unique artist. I do have another album of hers, and I really like this. I'm not a huge fan of that compilation record, but Hounds of Love, come on, absolute classic. Has the popular song Running Up the Hill, but come on, you got songs like, where is it? Yeah, House of Love, Cloud Busting, it's pretty good. The ending's pretty good as well. I think if you like Running Up That Hill from Stranger Things, that's cool, but please listen to the album as well. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Kate Bush, but I still do really like that album. Alright, moving on to the Kanye section here. Look, I don't condone Kanye at all and what he's doing, but I will talk about how much I like his albums. Now look, this is a bootleg. I know he hasn't released this on vinyl, but I do have Weezer on vinyl. I don't know whether I wanted Kanye to be like the first artist where I have like a full collection. You know, I wanted to get all of his albums on vinyl. I know there's some albums that again you have to get on bootleg, like Graduation, shit like that, right? But you know, I still wanted to get this, right? And I don't know whether I want to now because of, you know, again, what he's like, but I still want to talk about how much I love his albums. Yeah, I got this at a record fair, really happy I got it, incredibly influential. I'm gonna say it's kind of like every single album I've got of him, some of the best songs I've ever heard. I mean, like On Sight, that's an incredible opener. Bound to, Hold My Liquor. Yeah, it's just New Slaves. Come on, man. Look, hate the man all you want for his, you know, views, but come on. Oh yeah, Black Skin. Look, I've kind of had a bit of the reason why I know I made a video on this, but I want to kind of make it clear again. The reason why I don't listen to him anymore is because the difference between him, like, I know you can make the argument, like, yeah, you know, separate the art from the artist, right? And I think that is kind of, yeah, you can do that, right? But the problem is with Kanye, listen to Kanye, is I feel like if I listen to his songs, right, he's obviously going to make money from that. And he's probably going to fund, like, a fucking cunty, alt-right, you know, organisation or something like that. And I don't want to be a reason for that. And I know, like, you know, obviously, I'm not going to be the sole reason for it. I provide very, very little money towards Kanye if I listen to his music. I feel kind of guilty in that sense. So until he apologises truthfully, and not that shit he said about George Floyd, which is just disgusting to hear. Like, the shit was like, I apologise for what I said about George Floyd because I know what it's like to be suffocated or something like that. That shit's horrible, right? I still can't believe he said that shit, right? But again, next, the most underrated Kanye album, Yay. I genuinely think this, you could argue this is a top 3 Kanye record, a top 5 at least, maybe not top 3, but despite its short length, it still has some of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard on this. Yeah, that's really, I don't really want to talk about Kanye that much because I kind of feel a bit weird talking about it now after saying that statement. Yeah, the reason why I was kind of a bit shocked when I said, like, Black Skinhead, you know, it's because I haven't listened to his music in so long. I forget how many good songs he has. This was also an album I got from my sister. My Beautiful Darkest Fantasy, like the limited edition version. This shit pissed me off as well. I had, you got like a bunch of like cool posters from this, right? It's pretty cool there. You got some pretty cool like posters. I was gonna put them up, right? But I can't now because that means I just have. It feels like I'd be a kid in the 1940s putting up like Nazi memorabilia, you know, in my room, that type of shit. You know, obviously I am over exaggerating, but you know why I'm saying that. Next, Late Registration, again, classic, but still kind of guilty about having all of these. My favourite album of all time, sadly, by Kanye, but I will give respect to Kid Cudi though. Amazing on this. Come on, the humming on this shit. Go on Cudi Montage and Let His Hook on Reborn is still one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. My album of the year in 2021, Donda, is literally just the most like boring vinyl like I just have when it comes to just looks. I mean, it's just pure black. Hold on. Look at this shit, man. It's crazy, but look, again, still love the album. Oh shit, I folded that wrong. Still, yeah, like the music on the album, but the funny thing was the record place where the record shop I bought this in had a sale on their Kanye records, so like, fuck it, I'm buying that shit. Next, This was the last Kanye record I ever bought. Pardon me. That was 808s and Heartbreak. This also had one of my favourite posters of all time, which I was going to put up, but again, he became a cunt. Again. But still, yeah, one of probably the most influential Kanye album. But what's also cool is you get a CD. I don't know if you can see that, you get a cool CD. This is really cool as well. The inside cover art. Yeah. Really good album. Fuck Kanye though. Okay, now that is the end of the Kanye section. We can actually get to talk about artists I mostly respect. Sign off with one of the first artists I ever really fell in love with, and that was Juice WRLD, Goodbye and Good Riddance. This was the first, like, this is the thing, like, Juice WRLD for a while used to be, like, my favourite artist of all time, right? And now I personally don't have him, like, anywhere near that spot right now, just because I've grown, you know, listened to different albums, and have just kind of slowly but gradually fell out of love with his music. Is his music bad? Not by any means, right? I still think I can probably memorize most words from this album, right? But I just don't listen to it that much anymore. But it's still really, I still have a really soft spot in this because this is the first album I ever really like listen to and repeat. Summer of, I want to say 2019, 2018, I think 2018. Yeah, summer of 2018, I listened to this shit every single day. I don't mean like I listen to a few select songs. I listen to the whole album every single fucking day. And look, if you still like Juice WRLD, that's cool. I just personally don't listen to his music as much as I would want to, but still really respect what he's done for me. Kind of gloss over this album. Recommendation from my dad. I haven't listened to it, but I mean I've seen some good reviews on it, I guess. But yeah, I'm not talking about much. I've listened to all of these albums on vinyl, but this is an artist I want to listen to like more in depth. I don't want to talk about much because I mean I do like one of the albums, but look, I've got these Jimi Hendrix albums on vinyl, right? I haven't listened to them that much, right? I've listened to this album. I mean, what's it? Yeah, Spanish Castle Magic is probably one of the few songs I actually kind of remember listening to, and I still really liked it. And don't get me wrong, Jimi Hendrix is not an artist that I'm gonna like gloss over that much because I will be listening to him. I will be listening to him a lot more. It's just I don't have much to talk about because I haven't listened to him that much in depth. But he is an artist I do want to listen to. So I wanted to put some respect on his name. I don't love him yet. Okay, so I'll make that clear. That's why I'm kind of not talking about him much. Next, the limited edition kind of cover of James Blake's Friends That Break Your Heart. One of my favourite albums of 2021. I think I really love this album lyrically. I think throughout the whole album, when you listen to lyrics in a song, it kind of makes you think that like, oh, this is like a kind of heartbreak album, right? This is like, oh, you know, he's missing this person that he loves, right? And I really love how he kind of misleads you because it kind of makes you think that, oh, this is just like a person he really loves, and it kind of is, right? But it's more about friends than, you know, a person that you love, like the person you're attracted to. That's you know what I mean, right? But I love it how it kind of portrays, you know, falling out of, you know, friendships with other people, not necessarily because you hate them, but because you just don't see them that much, or you don't bond as well as you used to, right? And that is another type of heartbreak in itself, right? Believe me, I know that. And this album just resonates a lot with me now because, you know, I moved house, and for a while it was really tough on me, right? I, you know, found it hard to make friends, right? And I miss my friends back at home, still do. But this album just has a whole new meaning when I listen to it again. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But it's a really, really beautiful album. I can't recommend it. If you want an album to kind of tear up to, definitely listen to that. Oh shit, that's the Jimi Hendrix album. And that is, sorry, my bad, let me move on. Oh yeah, I can't lie, look, I'm just not. I haven't listened to these albums. I'm just not huge on them. There is Injury and the Blockheads. I know, like, he does have a lot of respect. Listen to them, kind of in hope that, because you know, some of my family members really like this, and I'm kind of excited to listen to it. But it's just not my thing. Honestly, it's just not my thing. Next, I was so happy when I found this, and this is in like a sales section of this record shop. Future's Dirty Sprite 2. Oh my god, this album's amazing, man. Like, it's so influential. You know, it's kind of, you know, one of the most influential trap albums of all time, right? Love these sleeves, right? Really cool light blue vinyl, right? It's an absolute classic in the rap genre, right? I mean, Future on this is like, you know, one of the most raw Future performances we've ever seen, right? And has he made better albums than this? Yes, but not to like. I don't think there's been an album nearly as influential as this that Future's ever made. But yeah, it got really. This is like one of my favorite sleeves. It's so cool. Let me turn it upside down quick. So cool. Yeah, it's if you want to get into like classic trap, 100% listen to this. 100% listen to this. I mean, the song "Slave Master" is like, look, it's such a wild name for a song, but that song fucking slaps. Also, Groupies is a great song. Obviously, Serve That Bass, Fuck Ups and Commas. You know, it's Thought It Was a Drought. That's a really good song. Percocet and Stripper Joint. Loads of trap classics on there. So many trap classics on there. This is another bootleg album. And it actually pisses me off, right? Because I bought this at our record fair. So excited to see this. And a few weeks later, this guy actually re-released these albums on vinyl. You know, you just couldn't find them anywhere, right? Re-released them. And to be fair, even if I did try and buy them like authentically, probably still wouldn't got them. Blonde by Frank Ocean, right? It sounds really good. Couldn't get. I know this is a bootleg, right? But oh my god, I don't even want to talk about just, you know, if it's a bootleg or not. I mean, look, it's one of the best sounds I've ever heard. I mean, I can't believe people actually think Channel Orange is just as good or better than this. I still can't believe some people are like that. This album washes the Channel Orange, right? One of some of my favourite songs of all time on here. White Ferrari, Ivy. That's the song, right? Yeah, sorry, I was kind of tripping on all. Self-Control. I haven't listened to that song in time. Oh my god, that's just unlocked so many memories. I remember, right, look, Call Me Corny, right? There was this girl I used to really like, right? She didn't like me back, right? I tried. Shit just didn't go well, and I listened to Self-Control like on repeat, man. That brings back some very sad memories. Yeah. Listen to the ones if you haven't already. Come on. You just have to listen to the ones. It's just amazing. Fucking hate the plastic rider. I really should get rid of it. I will sort that out later. Next, some rap songs by Earl Sweatshirt. This is sadly, it's kind of two reasons why I feel a bit sad when I listen to this. One of them is, I like Earl Sweatshirt, don't get me wrong, but this is like the only Earl Sweatshirt album I love. There's other Earl Sweatshirt albums that I like, but not to this extent. I think this is such an incredible album. The beats on this are insane, but this kind of brings me to another point that I kind of feel sad listening to this, is because when I first listened to this, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, this might be another 10 out of 10 album. And I listened to it a few more times and still really liked it, but I just didn't love it as much as I used to, and I still don't. And I wish I could just experience listening to it for the first time, because I just haven't felt that same way about this album since. Not to say this album is, you know, bad by any means. I just wish I could listen to it for the first time again. You know, I wish I could erase all memory I have from this. Hold on. Oh god, I hate the fucking plastic on this shit. Alright, sorry, my bad. But yeah, it's just such a good album. Like, even if I don't love it as much, I still just, please listen to it if you haven't already. Alright, next. Sadly, this is the only album I have of this artist, Denzel Curry. It's one of his shortest albums ever. This is one of my favourite covers of all time. I actually need to really put some respect to it. Look at the detail, man. It's so good. I think this is one of the most underrated Denzel Curry albums. I feel like people never really I never recently anyone said like, oh, this is like one of his worst albums. But I feel like when people look at his, best albums, they think, Taboo, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, Imperial and shit, right? This, I think, is, second best Denzel Curry album. I'm gonna say it. Top 3 for me have to be Taboo at 1, Unlocked at 2, Imperial at 3. I think this is an incredible album. Diet is just one of the best songs if you want to get really fucking it was like my gym song for a while. It just get me fucking hyped up as shit, right? But yeah, I think it's a really good album. One of the best Denzel Curry albums. Next, oh my god, I was so happy to see this in a record shop. Powers That Be. This is the most I probably most have spent on just one vinyl. I think this was about a little bit over 50 quid. But it's Death Grips. When I said earlier Death Grips is a sort of film I wanted to listen to from start to finish. I have, but I only listened to a few albums more than once. There's times I just listened to it once and haven't really got a full experience of it yet, if that makes sense. But oh my god, this album is just insane. And plus I got it on red. But some of my favourite Death Grip songs are on this. I mean, the self-titled Powers That Be is incredible. Billy Not Really is that's one of my favourite rap songs of all time. Look, I get it. If Death Grips isn't for everyone, and I understand that. I do think that the fan base can be kind of toxic because people just think oh, you don't like Death Grips because you just listen to melodic rap or some shit like that, right? But it's it's not for everyone, and it's kind of the same for every single one of the album. It's sometimes it's not for everyone, but I feel like if you do want to get into more experimental rap, Death Grips is obviously the obvious answer. I know there's more experimental artists out there, but if you want to just listen to different styles of rap, but in a more experimental type of way, just listen to Death Grips, man. Listen to the Money Store, Ex Military, Powers That Be, or listen to guys like Danny Brown or JPEG Mafia. There's so many guys like that, but I think Death Grips just, when it comes to experimental rap, do it best. And I have another album, there's No Love Deep Web. I think I prefer this to Powers That Be, but it might be a bit controversial, but look, it's kind of a basic pick, right? But No Love is one of my favourite Death Grip songs. I know it's I think it is their most popular. It was the first ever Death Grip songs I ever heard, and I remember this was actually, it's kind of unlocked a memory, right? Sorry, I got this, I think it's a glass covered vinyl. I thought it was really, really nice. But I actually just unlocked a memory. No Love was the first Death Grip songs I ever heard, and that was because of the YouTuber Pyrocynical. He talked around once, and it popped up on my suggestions, right? I listened to it. I listened to it and I went, this is not for me. They're no, this isn't for me. There's no way I like this stuff. But I kept on listening to it. I kept on just listening to it. I listened to it more of a curiousness rather than liking it. I'm like, this song's weird. I don't like it, but it's just weird, and I want to listen to it again and again. I'm like, fuck, I actually like this, and I just listened to the Money Store, and that's one of my favourite albums of all time, probably top 5. Listen to that, and listened to most of the discography, and just fucking loved it, right? But that was a song that really just introduced me to them. This is an album I'm not going to talk about much. This is one of the first albums I ever got on vinyl. Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want. Obviously, I think where I heard this, it was the Legal Drop. But I want to say first, another pretty cool vinyl. I kind of like this white type shit, right? Kind of cloudy thing as well. But look, the lead vocalist, I can't remember his name. is an absolute arsehole, right? Incredible scumbag. But if I'm just talking about the music, this is one of the most incredible albums I've ever heard. It is just something I've never listened, like, no albums have ever kind of scared me this much. It's like a horror movie within an album. And I just remember like loving it. I just listened to it all the time because it's just so like, I mean, the opener, again, as much I don't listen to it that much anymore just purely because of the lead singer. The opener, City Song, is genuinely one of the best opening songs just any albums ever. I think that song is just incredible. Ocean Song is amazing. Actually, I need to look at, because I kind of want to listen to it again, but again, I just feel kind of guilty. Oh shit, it doesn't have the track list on this. Does that have any like lyrics or some shit like that? Hold on. I feel like I saw something. City Song, what? Oh, fuck man, I forgot about these songs. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Oh, Less Sex, that song is incredible. Yeah. Ocean Song. The Ocean Song is like, it tells a story of this guy called Paul, right? Just fucking losing it, right? It's like an 8-minute song. And when it comes to like songs that have a story, if that makes sense, that is the greatest example I could ever give. That, I just remember every time I listened to it, I pictured it in my mind and just fucking scared myself, but just still listened to it. I wish I could listen to this not knowing how much of a cunt the lead singer is. Man, it's a shame. This is why I wish personal life just never involved in music, because that means I can listen to all the songs on there. Moving on though, probably my favourite pop artist of all time, aside from like, Michael Jackson, Charlie XCX. I think this album's incredible. I mean, pretty cool, like fan art and shit in there, right? There's just classics on this, man. I mean, come on, yeah. I mean, Pink Diamond is actually one of my least favourite Charlie XCX songs, I'm not gonna lie. Don't hate it, but don't love it. This run, Forever Clause 7 Years Detonate, and you got some like part of the anthems is so good, man. Oh my god, I need to listen to this album again. I went through this huge phase of just listening to Charlie XCX like on repeat, and I still do, don't get me wrong. But oh my god, I haven't listened to anthems in time. Sorry for that weird reaction, but fuck me, that album is so good. If you want to listen to like, if you really want to listen to like different types of pop, like hyper pop, which is what she's mainly known for, listen to that album, How I'm Feeling Now. Another incredible album, Charlie, right? I didn't buy the album just because of the cover. I'll make that clear, right? But this is the first Charlie XCX album I've ever heard. And yeah, I think this is one of the best pop albums of all time. Official used to make me fucking cry. Next Level Charlie, one of the best openings I've ever heard as well. 1999, one of these great like pure pop songs I've heard. Click, that song goes hard as fuck. Cross You Out is amazing. Thoughts, another incredible sad song. Blame It on the Love with Lizzo is incredible. White Mercedes, Silver Crosses. Oh my god, man. I don't want to know that song. The slow kind of tempo of it, and is how beautiful it all sounds, man. Can't recommend it enough. She's definitely like, when it comes to just pop, yeah, like I said, pop artists, easily like top 3 for me. Probably my favourite modern pop artist for sure. Favourite pop artist of all time probably would go to Michael Jackson, but I don't think she's that far off, to be honest. Next, oh my god, another incredible album. Oh, I took out 2 albums at the same time somehow. This has been stuck in between here. Sorry about that. I don't know how this motherfucker got there, but I'll just talk about him later. Cassie Headrests, Twin Fantasy. Holy shit. One of my top 10 favourite songs ever on this. Beach Life and Death. Holy shit. It's like a 14-minute experience. It's amazing. I was sober to death. That part where he's like not even words, just screaming, and that little bit after. Pure beauty. Bodies, one of the first Kanye Ever songs I've ever heard, amazing. And the final song, Twin Fantasy, that little, the guitar solo during it is phenomenal. And the annoying thing, right, I've seen Kanye Evers twice, but I was fairly young, because my parents found out about them. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry. My bad. I just need to put this back. My parents heard them on the radio, and you know they started listening to them, right? And I liked them, but I just didn't listen to an album because I didn't really like music all that much, right? And we went to see them live twice, right? I can't remember fuck all about what happened, and it annoys me because now that I love their music, right, I just can't remember anything that happened. So I just wish I could relive those experiences again, knowing the songs. I've heard this album is supposed to be good. Carole King, Tapestry. Haven't listened to it though. Not gonna talk about it. This is from Steven's collection. Yeah, don't love it. I'm not even saying don't love it. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I haven't listened to it. That's what I meant to say. Next, this is another album I've kind of fallen out of love with, but still really enjoy. That is Bon Iver's Forever Ago. I used to consider this a 10. I think I probably consider this like a 9 now, so not like a huge drop off, right? One of the saddest albums I've ever heard. I first listened to this when I was like falling asleep. I just remember listening to this, popped it on as I was falling asleep, and I was just sitting there in pure shock at how amazing this thing was. The raw vocals throughout this, I think, were incredible. All the like acoustic guitar throughout it all were amazing. The fact that it sounds kind of like it sounds so simple and cozy, but still feels powerful at the same time, especially on songs like Creature Fear and Skinny Love. Like the climaxes on that shit is just amazing. It is incredible, like love type of album. And yeah, if you're looking for an album to fucking cry a bit over, listen to this for sure. Well, I haven't listened to this in a long time. This came from Steven's collection, right? This one of my favourite rock songs of all time on this. Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. One of my favourite covers as well. Need to listen to it again though, but I remember listening to this for the first time and was fucking like, oh my god, I was just vibing to this shit so much. If you want to listen to like, kind of those classic rock songs, I guess Black Sabbath is more like metal, I guess, but if you want to listen to, I guess, classic metal songs, then 100% listen to that. Next, Black Country New Roads debut for the first time. This is the thing, right? Well, I think this was a very good debut, don't get me wrong. I'm still not huge about it. Like, even when it first came out, I was still kind of like, it's good, but like, I thought people were kind of overhyping it a bit too much. I mean, I still like the song Track X. I think that's a beautiful song. Sorry, I don't know why I'm burping so much. But never really fell in love with it, still haven't. But now that I have fell in love with, and still am in love with, is their second album, Amsterdam Up There. As most of you probably know, this was my album of the year last year, and for good reason. Don't really need to talk much about it because I've already spoken about how much I love the album. Again, one of the saddest albums I've ever heard. If there wasn't, if they didn't put Snowball, or is it Snow Globe, isn't it? Yeah, Snow Globe. If they didn't put that song in there, it's probably maybe a 10. It'd be a strong 9 to a light 10. I just don't particularly like that song all that much. But every other song is a classic in my eyes already. I don't care what anyone says. This album is phenomenal. Oh my god, this is a pain in the ass to fucking get in. Anyway. Next, this probably the most underrated rap album of all time. It's by this guy called Binkus. I picked this up. It's like a cheap record. Yeah, it's £5. I saw it. I thought, yeah, fucking let me try something new. It's cheap. Got it at this local record shop. And I was blown away by it. I think you can see this album on Spotify, right? But it's just by this guy I've never heard of before, Binkus. And it's very kind of like, classic hip hop kind of sound, right? I said there's this kind of, you can hear some kind of Nas influence on this, right? At least for me. But I mean, yeah, it's a solid album. I mean, I'm surprised that like this hasn't been like talked about that much by like, I don't really see any like, when it comes to like old heads in hip hop. I mean, I don't think this album was released in the 90s, right? But I think it was released like mid 2000s. But it has that kind of 90s sound on it. I've never heard a single like kind of old head type rapper talk about this that much, which is, I thought it might have been like a underrated cult classic, like some. I'm trying to think of an example, like I don't know, but you know those albums that are released by like artists with kind of small monthly listens on Spotify, but their songs are like followed heavily, like loads of people love them. I don't know, I can't think of an example right now, but you get what I mean. Next, classic Abbey Road by the Beatles. I mean, it's the fucking Beatles, they have incredible songs. I think this is probably my favourite Beatles album. Yeah, I mean, I got this in Yorkshire actually. Really good record shop. I think we're going back to Yorkshire this year, and I'm hoping to find this record shop again because it had so many good albums. But yeah, this is the first Beatles album I ever got. Got so many classics on here. Come Together, Something is one of the best love songs of all time. Maxwell Silverhammer tells a very disturbing story, but does it over a cheery instrumental, which I really like. Octopus's Garden, I love that song so much. Here Comes the Sun, classic. And Golden Slumbers, one of my favourite songs of all time. And probably my favourite Beatles song of all time as well. Either that or In My Life. Fuck man, that Binkers album's getting in the way. This is another album I got today, well, the Outcast single. The compilation album from the Beatles. Again, this has In My Life in it. Got this pretty cheap as well. It's £26. I would have expected it to be a bit bigger because it's a double LP. But yeah, I can't wait to listen to this. I'm going to listen to this in the next coming days. I think it's got so many classics on here as well. It's one of my dad's favourite, like, Beatles albums. Like, I know it's a compilation, but you know what I mean, like, he just loves the songs on here. Right there, and so do I, coming to the last few albums here. Next, my number 2 album of the year, last year, Beatopia by Viva Doobie. Such a cozy, actually I'm not going to take this out because this is a pain in the arse to it, but I will say I have this, it's in a neon green vinyl, right? It looks sick. I'm not going to take it out because putting it back into the plastic is a pain in the arse. Yeah, this is one of the most prettiest sounding albums I've ever heard, right? The vocals on this are so beautiful, man. The climax on this is amazing. Genuinely some of the best choruses I've ever heard. You can find me on that. I just think how consistent it was on every single song, like each and every chorus on this was just executed perfectly. Amazed me, and it still does. Like, there are some other albums that have choruses, but they're never like, there's always like one or two which are like, yeah, it's alright, not great, but that album, there's not a single bad chorus. And find me in the comments, I will prove you wrong. This I only listened to once. No, it's supposed to be pretty good, but I will listen to this Halloween. Thought it was pretty fucking sick. I listened to it since Bauhaus. Also a recommendation from my dad from Steven's collection as well. But I haven't listened to it that much. But I will again soon. Probably next Halloween, to be honest. Next, another soundtrack from the film Her. Brilliant film, even better soundtrack by Arcade Fire. Song on the Beach and Photograph are some of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Some of my favourite songs I've ever heard. Probably my favourite instrumental songs I've ever heard. Yeah. Beautiful soundtrack. Again, for a beautiful film. Arcade Fire just knew what the fuck they were doing, right? And they have this really cool, little bit there on the sleeve. And pretty cool vinyl as well. It's a white vinyl. Yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's the same as the Cowboy Bebop album, where it's like you can listen to the album even if you don't want to watch the show, right? But I'd still say probably watch the film along with this, right? But if you don't want to watch the film, please, for the love of God, listen to those two songs I mentioned, Photograph and Song on the Beach, because they're just tear-inducing and yeah, incredible. Next, Selected Ambient Works by Aphex Twin, right? Like about a few weeks ago, like about a 2-week stretch, I just had a phase of listening to Aphex Twin, and still really like Aphex Twin. But I'm gonna listen to like his whole discography, I think, soon. Yeah, incredible album. And this was the album that got me. Actually, no, this wasn't. The song that got me into him was track 3. It's just called 3 on the Selected Ambient Works Part 2. But this album itself is just so like otherworldly, if that makes sense, right? I mean, it's electronic music done perfectly. Obviously, it's a classic just in music in general, right? And for good reason. Next, though, is another Aphex. It's not an album, but it's the Collapse EP. I think this is one of my favorite EPs of all time. Can't recommend it enough. Yeah, really good, amazing songs. Yeah, really cool cover art as well. Yeah, I think if you want to listen to like short, I mean, I think it's like that 28 minutes, right? But still listen to it. It's still really good. If you just want to listen to it, have like a short, because I know a lot of Aphex Twin albums are very long, but if you want a kind of short experience, definitely listen to that. Next, it's Animals record. I mean, to be honest, I only really like the song House of the Rising Sun. It's a classic, right? But this is more of a recommendation from my dad. And the last, I kind of wish I didn't end on this, because there's not really much to it. I got this at the same time I got that Bing Kiss album, and it's only got 4 songs on it. It's just like a little kind of compilation. America is slowly dying. It's got some really good songs on it. I mean, yeah, it's got fucking Wu-Tang Clan, Coolio, and Mobb Deep. I mean, you're not gonna go wrong with it, but yeah, it's just short as fuck, right? But it's still really good. And that is it. So let me just push these back a bit, so it looks a bit more neater. There we go. Okay, it still doesn't look that good, but yeah, really enjoyed this. Wow, hour and 12 minutes, right? I'm gonna put some music over this, right? But yeah, hope you really enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite album was from my collection, and yeah, while it isn't a huge collection, right, I'm still proud of what I've got. Most of these, pretty much, I'd say like 90% of these albums mean a lot to me. But I'm hoping someday I can finish, I can cover all of this, and I can make another video where the whole shelf is completely filled. But yeah, this is my record collection so far. Obviously, we'll still be collecting in the future, but this is it right now. I don't know how many, I think I've maybe got around 70 here. I could be wrong. I think I've got about 70 vinyls. But if I wanted to do like my dad's vinyl collection, he's got way more than me. He's probably got about a little bit over 2 times as much. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, sorry if you don't agree with my opinions and so on, like the Prince album and shit, right? That's just my opinion, but I understand if you like that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, see ya.